Greetings to all you wonderful, sexy and brutal beings who have found their way onto my not so magnificent video. This is Stuffless and this time we shall make it really short. By the looks of it, I seem to have discovered a worthy contender to this year's Game of the Year awards, at least for me, and it is called the Sexy Brutale. Okay, thank you very much for watching and may you have an excellent day. Okay, so yeah, you already know what I think of it. Let's go through the whole drill without spoiling the story as much as possible because of it. The enjoyment factor of the Sexy Brutale heavily depends on this story and its twists. So, to start things off, you assume the role of a sinful preacher, Lafcadio Boone, who has just awoken in the middle of a mansion which he finds both nightmarish and alien, but at the same time very familiar. With the other guests at the masked ball being murdered in front of his very eyes, Lafcadio has been singled out as the one and only person who can save them and put an end to this nightmare. It seems that his mask alone has been blessed by the mysterious bloody girl. Her power allowing him to avoid the fate of all the other guests and retain his memories even when the clock strikes midnight. The same day begins all over again. And to be honest, this is just about as much story as can be told without starting to somewhat spoil the main story course for you. The gameplay of the Sexy Brutale is simple in concept, but extremely addicting and executed to almost perfection. You have 12 in-game hours during which you can act out a series of actions, learning information about the mansion, solving puzzles, exploring, and save the other mansion guests. Those 12 hours roughly translate into 12 minutes in real time, and once it is over the day starts again, resetting every item and character in the mansion. What does not reset though are very few specific items, collectibles and information which you have gathered, including the parts of the map which you have already explored. Audio in the Sexy Brutale is nothing but exceptional. There are no voices for characters, but that's a good thing, as it might ruin the whole presentation a bit. Soundtrack is just wonderful and I strongly urge anyone go and check it out. I'll leave the link to it in the description of the video where you could have a listen to it. If I were to describe it a bit, it would go something like in the lines of cabaret music infused with some good old bassy beats, at times like the swing music. To be honest, I think there is already a genre for it. I think it's called the electro swing. And to top everything off, there is this song called Shattered Hope or Tequila's Theme. Oh my god, now that one is simply amazing, and that's pretty much how you can describe the whole game, simply amazing. But why do I praise it so much? What does this game do so right that I'm absolutely charmed by it? Well, there are many aspects to it, and I will elaborate a bit. Firstly, the game is overwhelmingly charming in its art style direction. And I cannot find a better word to describe it but simply charming. Every character looks a bit like a cute figurine with a bit of disproportionately large head, and the art variation between the characters is clear and varied. The world itself is all colorful, but not so much that you want to scratch your eyes out due to its contrast. Oh no. The whole mansion is laid out in a way that is somewhat logical, and there are no super rough edges where you could just notice that you're just into another dimension of sorts. Everything seems to fit together just perfectly. Then there is the audio, which fits just like a glove to the graphics of the game. That's so much the whole presentation of the title. And finally, the gameplay itself. You know, you could have all the presentation in the world, but if the gameplay would suck, then your game would simply suck. And luckily that is not the case here. The gameplay is simple yet addicting, with some pretty clever game mechanics behind it. The controls are responsive, and even the menus don't get in your way. Everything just adds up to a near perfect game. Now, but if I were to have one or two little gripes about it, that I would mention that upon first starting up the game, you will notice that the game could use some sort of anti-aliasing. It is not that rough that you really need to force it manually, but it is still there, in your face, and you will notice it. And also the other thing would be probably the whole length of the game. It took me around 5 to 6 hours to complete the whole game and collect around 90% of the collectibles. So I take it that I could push out another maybe 1 or 2 hours max if I were to go and try to discover every secret there is to the game. Now usually, with that in mind, I would say that €19.99 would be overpriced for the game, which can be completed in 5 to 6 hours. But this time, we shall make the exception, because the quality of the game is just top notch for a Unity Engine title, and the story is something that gives you this hope that not everything is lost in modern gaming when it comes to good writing of stories. Now I'm not gonna waste any more time summarizing or blabbering around about this game. If you don't have it yet, then go get it. And with that being said, I would like to thank you very much for watching this pointless video, and I wish you all have a lovely day in your paradise. Bye bye.